right now I have Shari DeCastro, teacher Shari, with me here in the studio. Good to see you.
Good to be back. It's been a while.
Too long. Too long.
We'll fix that.
Yeah, we better fix that. Because that ain't how we doesn't live.
Not at all.
And last time you were here, we were hitting the poetry.
Yes,
it was
yes.
awesome. I'm a lover of your poetry.
Thank you.
I'm
I appreciate
I'm a
it.
fan. I gotta get your autograph before you leave. But this new program, I met you at the MWM Entrepreneurship Forum, and I looked through some of your books and some of the things that you are doing, and I've been begging you for a while to come on, but I really had to force you to come on after I saw all that good work. So let's talk about the Right to Read program. What's the background?
Right to Read was established because being in the high school system for about almost 3 years, I realized that the kids, even at that level, had difficulties with reading, specifically even reading comprehension. And that was because they were lacking foundational skills in phonics and phoneme awareness and that kind of stuff that would have enabled them to be able to put everything together. So because of that, I decided to not just complain about the problem, but to come up with a solution, and that's where Right to Read was birthed.
Oh, great. So your goals and objectives now with this program are to what?
Well, pretty much it's an after-school program for the children. We have adult sessions during the day, but the children, what we do is we bring them in, we do a series of screenings with them in vocabulary, comprehension, composition, grammar, and literature, all these different things, facets, so that we could see exactly where they are lacking. And as a result of that, we put together a special program for these kids individually so that we can create benchmarks so that they can meet them and either meet or exceed their reading and writing levels.
One of the things that we've been talking about for many years now is the lack of, if I can say it that way, the cognitive ability of our students, their ability to, we say, connect the dots or to think, make inference, deductions, and that sort of thing when you read comprehension.
Yes.
Let's just go
And
there one
that's
word.
because the skills such as like critical thinking, which would enable them to put those things together, is lacking. And so that's why it's so important to try to pull them out of the natural classroom environment and try to push skills. What I realize is that the system is now pushing information which the kids regurgitate, just spit it back out. It does not become a part of them. But if we teach them skills, those skills are embedded in them and they're able to use them for the rest of their lives.
An interesting component of the program that I noticed that public schools are beginning to incorporate into the system now is community service.
Yes, yes.
That's part of your program. Talk a little bit about that and talk about the benefits and the need to have community service for young people as a learning process.
I think it's important because we have to learn, living is given. We have so much that we take for granted. And it's an opportunity to show children that everything you do is not always for money. There's an innate joy that you should have just being able to help somebody that is less fortunate than you. So that's why, because we look at the three-dimensional aspect of the child, we look at everything, a holistic approach to education, and so we want them to be able to understand that community-minded focus so that they too can lend their hand in the community.
And how do you learn? How does a young person learn from community service and apply that cognitively or in a thinking way?
I think it boosts their social skills because and the cognitive ability even more so, because a lot of the things that they would learn in school, they now have a chance to apply them. And that's why we believe that information that is taught is supposed to be relevant and it should hit the kids at the heart where they can be able to understand it. So by engaging in community service, we allow them to connect the dots. When we look at social studies, English, all these different stuff, being able to communicate. Even the truth is being able to write about their experience, having gone and done community service. How did that make you feel? What did you see? What did you learn? So these first-hand approaches are able to just trigger more cognitive ability and focus and conversation with the kids.
Is there some particular way that you're teaching or some uniqueness about your program that the community needs to know about? We've heard about various learning and teaching styles and various cutting edge methodologies in teaching and learning. Are you applying some of these things to the children? How is that done? What is the uniqueness about your program?
For me, it's in the name, right to read. Generally, we say children need to read a lot, and children who read a lot write a lot, and that kind of stuff. I've taken an unorthodox approach to that, a flip of that, the opposite. I believe that if children write a lot, they'll in turn develop a love for reading, because they'll read what they write, they will read the work of their peers, and in so doing, they will continue to just develop this atmosphere of writing and reading. So through my skills as a poet and my love for writing, I'm able to facilitate and nurture those gifts in my children by allowing them to write on topics that are exciting for them, and then over time engage them in those same books and other materials that would help them to just give a little bit more in terms of writing. And on the back end, I've seen so many of them pick up way more books just because of that.
Just because they had to write something,
right?
They begin
right
to check read. To see what is happening in terms of writing.
Yes.
What information they need, and phrases and styles, and
definitely,
and so on. So the reading is sort of like a technical aspect. Writing is sort of like a technical reading is sort of like a technical aspect of writing.
Yes, in my approach, definitely.
In your approach, and I also noticed that you teaching Spanish-speaking individuals to read and write English?
Yes, I've had a few who have been interested. And of course, we know we have a lot of ESL, as English as a second language, students within the high school and the primary school. So I have had students whose first language or their family background is Hispanic, and we have to help them to connect the dots in terms of learning the English language in a way that they would understand.
Oh, okay. Now, what age groups are you targeting?
We teach children from ages 5 to 16. So straight up from primary straight up to high school, we just group them based on their ages and their grade level at the different time slots.
From primary to
straight up to high school.
Now, some adults have difficulty reading, and yes. I know quite a few adults. And what's interesting to me is that you have adults who are well educated, and when you listen to them read and you watch them write, it's amazing how much that skill is not present, but they are successful people.
Definitely.
How is that possible?
Well, I believe success, you just have to be driven to be successful. I guess most of them just wanted to succeed as bad as they wanted to breed. And it's a good thing, because the truth is everybody's skill set isn't the same. My strength wouldn't be somebody else's strength. And if someone wants to facilitate that strength and nurture and grow it, they can definitely come to Right to Read, and we'll be able to help them with that. But the truth is, possibly even by employing other people, you're able to, those weaknesses that you have, people that work for you have those strengths, and so you're able to balance it out and still become a successful person.
So you have adult or old adult classes where
yes, during the day, we, depending on the adult's schedule, we slot in an hour twice a week, and it will just be that one person, just for privacy. And we definitely set benchmarks as well based on the weaknesses that they are aware of coming in, as well as the screenings that I'm able to do. We then put forward a path that we want to accomplish.
Is it different and more difficult to teach adults, to read once they've passed that stage?
I don't think it's difficult, because I just see it as starting from the beginning. The kids have to start from the beginning, and they're in high school. So it's not much of a difference. I think it's an amazing thing just for somebody to see that they have a weakness and they want to strengthen it. So I see it as one and the same.
But is there some level of embarrassment involved in...
I personally don't think so. I don't think there should be. Because if you want to learn... If I can't cook, and I want to take, now I can cook, right? I'm just putting an example. If I can't cook and I want to learn to cook, I could be single, I could be married, whatever, and I need to learn to cook. I need to know. I don't. So I want to learn.
Yeah, but this
Now
is a different
reading,
though, right?
I mean, let's be real. The truth is, and this is a challenge that we're having. In the Caribbean, especially in the BVI, more and more, our dialect has almost become our first language. And so I've personally seen English now almost as a second language. Like I'm literally teaching standard English because children are writing their dialect on exams, in class, everywhere. And so it's a cultural thing where we have so become accustomed to our dialect that we are not communicating in standard English, even as children or adults.
And then to add to that, the shorthand on social media.
Yeah, technology and social media does
Yeah.
not help.
Because I was looking at something a young person sent to me the other day, and I ain't had a clue. Between the shortened words and the emoticons,
Yes, yes. It's a totally different ball
it's
game.
another language altogether. Like
Definitely.
I couldn't deal with it. But you don't find that you don't find that adults the stigma of not knowing to read at an older age as being a challenge.
I think it's a challenge, but I think it's an opportunity for adults to get past it. The truth is, you're bettering yourself. If you know you're on the job and you need to, let's say, write letters or emails, whatever you need to do in terms of correspondence and communication, and you don't feel like you're at the point and the place where you should be, that's an opportunity to grow. You never stop learning, whether you're a child or an adult. I'm a teacher and I'm still a learner. I always will be. So though there may be a level of pride attached to it, the best thing is to drop it and just seek out an opportunity to better yourself.
So you don't find that people that come to you, adults that come to you to learn to read English speaking adults that come to learn to read and write English, you have to create a condition where it's not obvious or they're not seen to be learning that.
Quite frankly, the people who have come to me, they've just been excited about learning. And I think it's because of the approach I take. I don't look down on you. I don't judge you. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. And so the embarrassment, at some point, we just put it aside and say, you know what, this is a learning opportunity and I will be better because of it.
Okay. So how is the business doing? How is the program doing?
It's doing really, really well. We launched in 2014 and it's been a long journey, not knowing anything about the business end of things. I'm an educator and I love that. I'm a writer. That's natural. So I've grown and learned a lot, and I've met a lot of kids some kids who've come and couldn't say their ABCs and now they're reading short sentences and stories, or high school kids who had problems with reading comprehension or writing and now their compositions are spectacular. So I've seen amazing growth and I look forward to trying to impact more children as we go.
Okay. So these are children who are already in public schools?
Yes, or private school, both.
Yeah, and they want some extra help.
Yes, either their parents see that they are struggling in a particular area, reading, vocabulary, composition, comprehension, and so they bring them and we're able to chart a way forward to make sure that they overcome whatever challenge they have.
Okay, that's great. Now, where you going in the future? What you see as a vision for the Write to Read program? It's like natural to say read to write.
Yes.
Write to Read program.
I see so much because just about every couple months I'm rolling out a new program, and it's just God ideas, you know. This Friday is midterm break, and so I had this idea called a positive drive, and it pulls on the metaphor of blood donors and blood drives and blood banks. We're encouraging us as a people to have new blood, new people, new donors come out and invest in our children, whether through motivational speaking, using your resources, your finances, your time, mentorship, whatever it is. And on this Friday, we have a children's fun motivational day at Save the Seed from 8:30 to 4:30, where we'll be having some dynamic speakers, and the kids will also partake in bowling, and they'll have lunch and that kind of stuff for a small fee of $20, because we want as many kids on their day off to still be doing something that will keep them gainfully occupied while ensuring that exams are coming up, and they're comprehensive exams in which they have to know everything from the beginning of the school year. And so we just want to give them some motivation going into that so that they can do their best on those exams.
And this is this Friday.
This Friday.
What date that is?
Friday the 20th.
Friday
of
the
May.
20th. And if persons want to get in touch with you to register their children,
You can either email me at righttoreadbvi@gmail.com or call me at 442-7335.
Okay. And what about registration for for the program Right to Read?
Yes, you can do both on the same thing, the email or the phone number. And we're actually currently facilitating a program, a 6-week program that is completely focused on English review, making information a part of you. And what we're doing is we're setting up a strategic plan for children to ensure that they're ready for these exams that are coming, whether end of year or key stage testing. And we're using creative stuff like mnemonics, rhyming, outlines, note cards, different things that we would use to make sure that the kids make the information become a part of them, so when they get the exam, they're able to put it on the paper.
And where are you located?
I'm located on the 3rd floor of EA Quickie building, on top of Quickie Shoe Store.
Okay. And repeat that number for us again to call
The
you.
number is 442-7335, or you can email me at righttoreadbvi@gmail.com.
Okay, cool. What I'd like to do, and we are turning the clock, but I mean the time is just, flew by so quickly. But what I'd like for you to do for me is to take, like a 1 or 2 minute video with your phone, of the children and the learning experience, because I'm trying to start add more positive segment to the show. Mm-hmm. And I want to get everybody listening, I want to get all positive things that's going on in the community, right? I don't want nothing negative. All positive things that's going on in the community. Success of children, success of adults, acts of kindness, all positive things going on in the community. To send me like a post on my Facebook page, or just send it to me, crown53.com, and 1 2 minute, 2 minutes the most, of some activity that's positive that's happening in the territory. I want to air it, and I know that you're doing good work, and I know looking at the children reading and having success in the program will motivate other children as well, and other members of the community. So I'd like to help. I would like for you to help me.
No problem. I will do that.
To do that.
I will do that. No problem.
Okay. It's good to have you as usual.
It's good to be here.
And I had the bureaucracy, and the reason why you're not on Spotlight more often is your fault. So
we'll change that. No worries. We'll change that.
I just want to make that public and embarrass you publicly for not coming on the show. But you're my girl, and I love you, and I enjoy your poetry and all the things that you do in the community.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. We're going to come back with Miss Ariana Fobbs and Miss Abby O'Neill right after these words. Keep it locked right here to Spotlight.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands and CCT Global Communications.